Hi, and welcome back to my channel, Night Owl Collage. I'm Amber, and today we are going to do one more April showers project. So we're going to make this little booklet. I made this into an ephemera holder, but I think the one we make today I'm going to make into just like a little journal. But I took apart a book recently, a vintage book, and it was, I'll show you. It was bound in a way I hadn't seen before. So each signature was just like a page that was folded in half twice and then bound like that. So that's where I got this idea. There's lots and lots and lots of pockets in here, and this is stuffed full of ephemera. It's so super cute. You can like set it on your desk like this. It's small enough that it can be decorative. It's just really, really, really cute. So I made, there's a pocket here. There, I made some vellum pockets. Each page has a pocket. There, I made vellum pockets. This one, I actually have the opening at the top and sewed down the middle. So there's these tag pockets here, and I made smaller pockets. So it's just every pocket has some kind of ephemera in it. So, and it's not, if you can put so much in it, but it's not like so chunky that it's unwieldy. It's like, and then I think I didn't put a closure on it. I didn't think I need one because I was just going to set it on my desk like this. So but I think we're going to make it into a little journal this time, and I'm going to put a closure in it, and I'm going to show you how to do this binding as well. So and you really just don't need a cover. I just put a cardstock piece with this quote on it on top of this, so you really just don't need a cover for it either. So really fun, easy project. And I already put the materials in the description box below, so hopefully you saw that already and have gathered your materials so you can follow along. And let's get started. So the first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna fold these pages, and they only need to be single-sided pages. So we're gonna fold this, make sure you get it nice and even. Now I picked certain pages out of the kit. I mean, you can use whatever papers you want, it doesn't matter. But with the April Showers kit, so when you do this, one image is going to be upside down. So I wanted this image, and this one is going to be the cover. So I'm going to cover this with that cardstock quote. So I just printed that on cardstock and put it over it. Okay, so that's our first one. Then I took this collage piece, and this is the one that I made into the tag page, the tag pocket page, because I could have the opening at the top. So I could have the opening up here, because these, I need these ducks right side up, so the opening is here. This is closed up here. So this is the one I made into the top opening pockets. And then I have this one with the mom and her son. And so these, it doesn't really, you know, matter that these are upside down. It still looks fine. So these are why I picked certain pages, so that will look fine with some of the images upside down. Of course, you can cover them if you want. That's going to be my main image, and then these images, they're upside down, but it doesn't look like it's really upside down. So that's the next one. And then this one with the ducks in the basket of forget-me-nots. Okay, so when we put these together, this is not going to be like a normal signature where we have these together like this and then we fold it like this. Each one is going to be its separate signature. So this one is going to be one signature. So there's going to be 7 signatures. So I'm going to score these. At the halfway point. Okay, so this is US paper, so at 5.5 is where I'm going to score these, just to make it easier to fold. All right, so now we're going to do some sewing. If you want to sew, you don't have to sew. You can glue. So what I'm going to do is I want this side open, but I do want the sewing, I want to see the sewing all around the sides. So what I did, because you can see the sewing that's all around each page. So what I did is these parts that are going to be open, I sewed them open. Okay, so I opened up the page and sewed those sides so that when I fold it back, that's still open. Okay, and then I'm going to close it up and sew those sides. So that's how I'm going to, but of course, if you're not sewing, you can just glue. Don't worry about the middle because that's going to be bound. You can just glue this side right here. Okay. Let's see. What else? For this one that opens up at the top, okay, we're going to open that up and sew these sides. And then we'll sew that together, and then we'll sew right in the middle to make those divided pockets. So I'm going to bring you over to the sewing machine so you know what I mean. Okay, so I have my sewing machine here just on a straight stitch. I'm going to use this one for an example. Okay, this is the side opening ones. So I do want this to be open. So I'm going to open this up. Okay, so I've got this opened up, and I'm just going to do 1/8 of an inch. Okay, and I'm going to do that on the other side as well. So now when we close this, it still looks like it's sewn, but it still has that opening. So now I'm going to close this and stitch across the top and the bottom. Actually, that's the bottom and the top. So I'm going to start to close this. I'm going to sew the top of the page. And then we're going to sew the bottom. Oh, there's also a trick that I need to show you. I actually learned this from Natasha at Treasure Books. I don't remember how long ago that was. It was pretty long ago that I learned that, so I can't remember which video it was. So now we're going to do this one that opens at the top. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead and open this up and sew the top and the bottom separately. I'll show you that trick in just a moment. I gotta get this sewn first. Go find another window. We're gonna fold this up again, and we're gonna sew the sides and the bottom. So the trick, we don't need the trick on the sides, but the bottom, we want to do this. So when we know when we fold, when paper's folded and then we fold it again, it kind of gives you like a puckering sometimes, and it kind of gets messy and just annoying. So if I'm gonna fold this way, okay? So I'm going to curve my paper up as I sew, so it kind of is already leaning that way. It's already kind of getting used to being folded. So I'll show you what I mean. So I'm gonna start this, but as I go, I'm just gonna hold the paper up at a curve as I sew, and that helps it fold better when we actually do the folding. So we're going to close up the sides, but we don't need that trick because they're not being folded. And this was the only page that I had that I did the opening at the top. But if you use the backing pages, they don't have images on them, so those would be another good page to have the opening at the top, which I think I'm going to print out one of those and have an 8 signature so I can have another top opening. So I'm going to go ahead and get these all sewn and inked, and I will tell you the ink I'm going to use is the most fabulous ink for this this kit, and I'll be back in just a moment to show you all that. All right, so I've got these all sewn. For my cover page, I sewed the like all around the whole thing because I don't want an opening, because I'm going to put a closure here. So this one won't have an opening. This one is my opening at the top, so I did sew a line in the middle of each side so that I have like pocket or tag sized pockets, and then these are all sewn, and then I added in this backing page, so it didn't matter what side it was that was on top. So I have the opening up here, and this is going to be my back page, so because the opening's at the top, it's all right that I have a closure right here. So that worked out pretty good. So now I want to show you this ink. Where did I put it? This ink, if you have the April Showers kit, this ink, Faded Jeans, the Distress Oxide Faded Jeans, goes really, really super well with this. Let me show you on like one of these. So this just looks really beautiful. You see that color? It goes so well with the colors in this kit. And I also want to show you a little trick if you're sewing. So let me find one that really shows the problem. Okay, so if you sew, you can see on the back side of the sewing where the needle punches through, you can see the white core of the paper, and that is not a good look. So if you just take your ink and lightly run it over the threads, you can see we can get rid of most of that white. So that is a trick that I have learned when you're sewing pages. So I'm going to go ahead and ink all these pages, and I'll be back in a moment. Okay, these are all inked and folded. So these, like I said, these are going to be single signatures. So put them in the order that you want, that looks best to you. So I'm putting mine like this. Right here. And there's my last signature. Okay, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna bind this and then we are going to embellish. Okay, so let's do the binding first. So what you're gonna need is, I used a pretty thin thread here. This is waxed linen thread. It's pretty thin, but you can use whatever you want. I just wouldn't recommend something thick like twine or yarn or anything like that. So we're gonna need a length of thread. So what I'm doing to make sure I have plenty of thread and don't run out is I'm going to do the length or the width, the longer side of the book, times the amount of signatures plus 1. So I have 8 signatures plus 1 is going to be 9 lengths. Okay, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Okay, so that is my thread. I'm going to set that to the side for a moment. You are going to need a tapestry needle. I'm choosing one with a pretty small eye because this is a small page, and my thread is pretty thin, so I don't really need large holes for that. And then we're going to need to punch holes in here. So I made a template. This is the size, the exact size of the signature. Let me see what that is here. 4 1/4. Okay, so 4 1/4 sheet, like a cardstock, and then we're gonna make a dot 1/2 inch from each side, 1 in the middle, and a dot in the center of between the top and the center and the bottom and the center. Okay, so you're gonna have 5 dots, and you don't have to do like exactly, you can just kind of eyeball it. It's not a big deal. So then we're going to punch our holes. I'm gonna use my quilting clip to just hold that in place. And I'll take my awl, and I don't need to make huge holes. I'm just gonna punch right where those holes are, or where those dots are. Okay, show you that one more time. It's my first signature. I'm gonna open it up. I'm gonna place my template, making sure the top, I mark the top with a T. So I always get that in the right position. I'm gonna clip it in. There's my center, my crease. And I'm going to punch a hole with my awl or other pokey tool you have, right where those dots are. And come up closer. So here's my dot. Just gonna go right in the crease and punch my dot here and punch. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and punch all my holes, and I'll be back in a moment. All right, I've got all my signatures here in the order that I want them. Holes are punched. I'm gonna set all the top ones to the side. I'm gonna start with the last signature, okay? So I'm gonna try to show you this as best I can for where my camera's at. So we're gonna open, or we're gonna start from the outside. We're gonna go into that first hole, and we're going to leave a decent sized tail because we're going to be tying that off. Okay, now we're on the inside. We're going to go out the second hole. Being careful not to pull your tail through. Okay, if you want to clip that to the paper just so you make sure you don't pull it through. Okay, so this is a tricky part. It's only on the first signature, so that's all you have to worry about it. So you're going to go back in through the same hole you just came out of, but you're going to leave a loop. Okay, so I'm going to leave a loop like that, and I'm going to go back out the third hole, making sure not to pull my loop through. I'm going to hold that. I'm going to go back in. I'm again going to leave a loop. Okay. And I'm going to go back out the fourth hole. Go back in. Leave another loop. And then we're going to go back out the last hole. Now we have this. We have our tail here, and we have 3 loops, and we're coming out this hole. Okay, we're going to take our next to last signature. Okay, this one. We're going to come up, and we're going to go through from the outside in that last hole. Okay, and we're going to go out, or we're going to go out the fourth hole. That's the 5th hole. Here comes Hemingway. I don't think he wants to be on camera. Okay, and then we're going to go through that loop. And back in the hole we just came out of. Okay. So let me show you that again. So we're going to go out the 3rd hole, and you can go ahead and grab that loop. Okay, that loop, go through the loop, and we're going to go back in the hole we just came out of. Okay, we're going to go out the 2nd hole through that loop and back into the hole we just came out of. And then we will go out the 1st hole. Okay, so now you have this kind of, it looks like kind of a mess here, but we're going to take our tail and we're going to pull that so that these become tight. pull this loop here. Make sure everything, do this, make sure there are no loose loops here. Just make sure everything is nice and tight. When we don't want to pull everything super tight, because that's going to make the book spring open, and we don't want that. So now that we don't have any loops anymore, we're going to make a square knot here. Okay, so I'm going to just do this so you can see it better. Here's my tail, here's my working thread. I'm going to do right over left. And then left over right. Okay, and then just take your tail and cut off like leave half an inch there. Okay, so now we have this. Be careful not to cut off your working thread when you do that. Okay, next signature. Now we don't have to worry about those loops. We're gonna come in the first hole, out the second hole, then we are going to we're gonna make a link stitch. So we're gonna count down 2. So here's 1, 2. Yes. So here's our signatures, 1, 2. And we're gonna go right under that signature. Open that out. And we're gonna go back out on the other side. So we're just like wrapping the thread around our already made knots, our stitches that are already there. Okay, and then you're gonna go back in to that hole, the second hole. And again, don't pull these really tight. Well, don't pull them tight at all, just nice and light, but not super loose. Okay, we're gonna go back in out the third hole. Now look here, 1, 2. We're gonna go under that signature. Wrap around that stitch. Okay, go back out the other side. And then we're going to go back into the third hole. Then we're going to go out the fourth hole. Count down 2, 1, 2, go under that signature. Go back out the other side, that gap. And back into the fourth hole. We're going to go out the fifth hole, and here's where we're going to make what's called a kettle stitch. So it's almost like the link stitch. So we're going to do the same thing, count down 2, 1, 2, go through that signature. Okay, instead of pulling it all the way through, we're going to go through that loop. And we're going to pull up. Okay, I'm going to do one more and then I'll just speed it up. And just a note, the kettle stitch, it's always just right at the end of your line of sewing. It's not on both sides, it's just at the end of whichever way you're sewing. Okay, next signature. We're going to go through the 5th hole. Out the 4th hole. Okay. We're going to come down 2, and you're going to put your needle in the way that you're sewing. Since I'm sewing this way, I'm coming from this way to this way. So here's 1, 2 signatures, and underneath that one, that second signature, and back out the other side of the gap. And then back into the 4th hole. We're going to go out the 3rd hole. Count down 2, 1, 2, go under that signature. And this is the reason why you might want to use a blunt needle instead of a sharp needle, so that you don't tear the paper when you're putting it through the gap there. Go back inside the hole, 3rd hole. Okay, we're going to go out the 2nd hole. Count down 2, 1, 2. Bring your needle through the gap and out the other side of the gap of the stitch there. Back through that 2nd hole. And then out the 1st hole, and here's where we're going to make our kettle stitch. Okay. We're going to go down 2, 1, 2, inside. We'll bring it out the side here. We have a loop, and then we're going to put our needle through the loop. I'm going to catch that thread there in here. I'm going to pull that up. Okay, and then we're going to add our next signature, and I'll speed up the rest for you. Okay, so I've just done my last kettle stitch at the top of the 1st signature. To finish it off, we're going to go back inside that 1st hole, and we're going to tie a knot here. So we're going to take our needle, we're going to go underneath this stitch here, and we're going to go through the loop and then pull that down. Okay, we're gonna do that one more time. Go underneath the stitch and through this loop and pull it down. Okay, and then we can cut off the thread. And there we go. Okay, so now we have our book bound. Okay, just like that. And now we get to turn it into a little journal. So I'm going to do the cover. I'm going to start with, I'm going to make this background with the collage page on cardstock because I wanted a little sturdier. So I'm kind of going to measure out what size I want to stay inside the stitching. So 5 1/4 by 4. Okay, I'm gonna cut that down. So I'm going to glue that right on top of this. Actually, it needs to be just a tiny bit shorter. Okay, just like that, and I'm gonna ink that first. Okay, let's glue this on. And you could glue 3 sides and have a little pocket there, but there's so many pockets in here, I don't think I need to do that. And then I'm going to use Daisy Image, and I'm just going to kind of tear it around the daisies. Kind of want that, and then I want this quote, so I'm going to tear it around the quote. So I'm going to put that right in the middle, but I'm going to ink these up. All right, so let's glue these on. There we go. And I don't like this little bit of that ribbon there, so I'm going to see if I can find something to put over that. Maybe these. Something like that. And just do like a couple of those. Something like that. Just to cover that. I don't like love it, but I do want something to cover that. Maybe I'll like it better if I put a couple down here. I think that might be a good idea. Okay. So now we're going to do a closure at the end, but we're going to do some pockets on the inside. So I'm going to use vellum for my pockets, and I'm going to do several different sizes. So I'm going to do like a full size here. So I'm going to just, let's see. Well, let's just measure it. So we want this pocket to be 3 7/8 by 5 1/4. So we'll make a few of those. And we're gonna take those, stick them all together, and then we're gonna make a thumb hole with my circle punch. Okay, so we have 4 of those pockets. Let's see, what other size pockets do we want? These, I made, this was 3 7/8 by 2 5/8. 3 7/8 by 2 5/8. Okay, let's make thumb holes for those. Just tap them all together on your desk. And use a circle punch. Okay, now we've got 4 of those. And let's see. These, that's gonna be, what was it, 5 1/4 by 2 1/2. And then we'll take these. We don't need a thumb hole for these. So let's put some pockets in our journal. All right, this one I want to be a full pocket. Okay, so I'm going to use my art glitter glue. I need something, yeah. Okay. And when we use this on vellum, vellum is fussy. I think I said that before. So we're going to take our finger and just kind of smooth this glue out. I learned that trick from Rachel at Rachel Bella Crafts. Okay, so we're going to glue that into our journal here. Okay, I'm going to leave my ducks here on this side. This one, I think I will use one of these. I'm gonna leave this space as like writing space. And I'll probably add some embellishments there. This one, I'm going to add this one. Keep this image here. And let's see, I'll keep that as writing space. This one, I will put one of these. Let's do some embellishing and stick some things in our journal. I've got quite a few pieces here I can play around with. All right, I didn't have a whole lot of time to embellish, but I'll show you what I've done so far on this. I love the cover, absolutely love it. Did the lace, the sticker, I put some postcards in this pocket. Just stuck some little note paper in there. I've got a rainbow embellishment. These are full of embellished tags that I've already done. I added the calendar and the Wednesday sticker, so those are all full of tags. The dog and cat. Here's like a little calendar page and a note page. Let me see, am I missing? In here, put leftover card from, it'll be a journal card when I get around to it, from the collage page. And I left this as a writing spot. And then I have a journal card in here. I put a shine sticker and a tag that I will embellish later. And then I stuck a tag in this pocket and a sticker and an embellished tag here. A couple of tags that need to be embellished. The month paper, these are a couple of bookmarks in here. The little cat note paper. This one says, "The cloud, I bring fresh showers for the spring flowers." And then this one. Ooh. It's a little leftover duck image in there and another piece of card. And then I've got this lady in the rain, walking in the rain, a tag here, some kitty note paper, a little sticker there, this little label, some writing paper. This is just, I put this sticker here, and then this is just some writing paper in this pocket. And in this pocket, I have some while you are out memos. And a little note paper here. This one, I have some more writing paper, decorative writing paper, some little cloud stickers, and a strip here. This one has some more writing paper. Just has writing paper, a list paper, a sticker here, embellishment here. I haven't put anything in this pocket yet. There's embellishment, and there are a couple of tags. This is a layered tag in here, and that is a writing page. So all I need to do is put a closure on this, which I'm trying to think of, like, if I put a closure here, it's gonna be kind of going over these tags. So I'm thinking about putting an elastic closure over this. So I have these elastics. They're kind of sparkly, so I think maybe this will work pretty well. So I'm going to wrap this around a couple times. Make that pretty tight. Make a square knot. I did right over left. Doing left over right now. And I'll do a little bow. And I'm going to actually put a little bit of glue on that so it doesn't come apart. And I'll stick a piece of just a scrap under here so it doesn't glue to my page. Just gonna stick that under there while that dries. But I hope you guys enjoyed this project. So make it a journal, mini journal, an ephemera holder, whatever you like. It's just such a cute and a lovely way to do a quick journal, quick binding, with just some, you know, single-sided pages that you have. And comes out really cute and lots of fun to put things in and places to tuck things in and put a lot of different things in there. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you again in a couple days for another tutorial. Bye. Recording. Pumpkin was up here. Oh, cat hair. And my sewing is all wonky because Tucker is sitting there and causing me aggravation. Look at that. Look at that. Tucker. Okay. All right. Tucker, you gotta move. 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 Go. Getting caught on my plants here. I come out to the other side. Oh, I lost my thread there. Okay, my light has decided not to work again. Time to get a new light. Oh, Pumpkin's over there destroying things again.